All right, Dan, we're back on stage. NewCath Thoroughbreds went 12-3 this past season. Started off 1-3, went to 2-4 before running off 9 straight wins in order to get their second title. In the last 3 years, 6 times in the last 8 seasons, NCC has played the state championship game in their 11th appearance overall in the state final and 5th state title in program history. Offense averaged 35.5 a game, including 44.7 during their 9-game winning streak. Defense gave up 16.7 points per game, including 13 during their winning streak. Head coach Eddie Evanston, who is off to be the offensive coordinator for the Georgetown College, where it's his alma mater as well, where he's a 3-time All-American. Former defensive coordinator Dan Wagner will take over as the head coach of the Thoroughbreds in 2013. And joining me up here on stage from the state champions, Class A 2A state champions, quarterback Josh Kane in the far left, Pete Calapi, linebacker. Inside here is a linebacker, offensive lineman Brady Thacker, one of the meanest little guys you'll ever see in Class 2A. And running back Dylan Hayes, who's also our first team all tristatefootball.com returner of the year. Dylan had a grand total of 6 returns, 4 punt returns, and 2 kickoffs for touchdowns in 2012. And we'll start everything off in the corner with Josh Kane, the quarterback. And Josh, you played defensive back for 2 years. You move over behind Brady Haichu, and then you move into the quarterbacking position. Talk about that transition a little bit.
Brady Haichu was a great player. He came in and replaced him. He was more of a running quarterback. I think I was more of a passing quarterback, which kind of changed our offense up this year. More of a passing team, I think. Half and half with running yards and passing yards. So, yeah.
When you look at the balance that you guys had on offense this year, obviously you had Dylan, who was an established running back, to say the least, but Matt Franzen came on very strong for you guys. And like you said, you were more of a passing quarterback. Talk about that passing game and how it really benefited you guys during your 9-game winning streak.
I think sometimes Mac made me look good, catching everything I threw at him. He just got open and we caught it. He scored usually. So.
Sounds good. Let's move it over here to Pete Calapi. Pete, a linebacker, 3-year starter for the Thoroughbreds. And Pete, in the state championship game, you guys, it was a really tight game. Coach decides to go for it in his own territory in the second half. Put a lot of pressure on your defense after that play. But talk about what that meant, even though that was sort of off the wall as a play, but it sort of propelled you guys to get you over the hump, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a crazy game. Just was going back and forth. We had to take a lot of chances, had to take chances to win, and it paid off for us in the end.
We talked a little bit about the struggle that you guys had after the state championship game, the struggle that you guys had early in the season, as compared to when you were a sophomore. It seemed like it was very much an easier situation. Going through that process, you guys were expected to do big things early, but it didn't all come to fruition like you wanted. How did you guys muddle through all that to get to where you got?
Yeah, earlier we were searching for an identity as a team. Injuries to a lot of starters didn't help. We're 2A school. All of us would play both ways. We expected to play both ways. And with the injuries, it really didn't help our confidence. But we ended up with some wins under our belt and realized that we could reach our goals, which was a state championship.
Playing for Eddie Evanston, even though he's gone now, talked about the 3 years that he was there and how instrumental was he to your growth and development as a player?
Yeah, for me personally, I saw coaches, friends, someone close we can talk to. He's taken NewCath to a whole other level of football, and we expect after we've left that they continue, to reach state. That's our goal every year, and we hope in the best. And Dan Wagner will do a good job in the future.
Let's move it over here to your teammate and classmate Brady Thacker. Brady, really, when I watched NewCath, you were the tone setter, offensively, defensively. Why was it you? Why were you the one that stood out to be the man that everybody looked to for leadership?
I think I got some time for myself. I had a pretty good senior year, so my junior year I set out to do it. Just need to step up again senior year and take control.
Well, you talk about stepping up your game. What did you do in the off season in order to elevate it?
I had a lot of extra time in the off season, and so I just always in the weight room and working out, running all winter.
Senior class, a very good senior class, especially one. Your legacy. When you look back at everything on the hill at NewCath, what are you most proud of?
Going out on top, senior year and state championship.
Very simply spoken. Let's move it over to Dylan Hayes. Dylan, again, another player, much like Josh, you sort of bided your time early on behind a great one, Chris Kelly. What did you learn from him, and how did that help propel you into such a great career?
I learned a lot from Chris. He taught me how to be a great running back. He was a hard worker, and I just basically took all the tools from him. Just had a good season.
When you look at yourself as a return specialist, why were you able to see such holes, and why were you able to get through things so quickly as a return guy?
I mean, I just tried to rely on my speed and my quickness. The punt return, like the blockers and whatnot, I think they opened up the holes for me. I think today.
I've been back there on the receiving end of a kickoff and a punt return. It's not the easiest thing, is it? I mean, you either want to do it or you don't want to do it, because when you all of a sudden once you catch the ball, it's 1 on 11, isn't it?
It's kind of nerve-wracking, but once you finish the ball, you get excited. I remember one time, Max Looseball picked one, I think it hit the moon, and I muffed it, and that was the only one I muffed all year, so it's always fun.
But when you go back out there confidence-wise, I mean, does it shake you at all, or how do you get rid of those kind of cobwebs?
I mean, you just focus, basically. You just worry not to drop the ball, and you just, once you catch it, you just do your thing.
When you look at these 3 guys that have been with you through thick and thin, give us a little, a few words on what you think about this group of seniors.
I mean, we came together and we made it a very memorable season.
There you go, guys. The NewCath Thoroughbreds, the Class 2A state champions for the second time in the last 3 years. Let's give them a big hand. They're going to go off to Chrissy to get your photos taken. We're going to go back to Dan in the corner, bring up the Highlands Blue.